Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, your go-to space for deep dives into South Africa's political landscape. Today, we're unpacking a bombshell development that has sent ripples across the African National Congress and raised questions about the future of its leadership. Allegations have surfaced suggesting that Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi is secretly aligning himself with none other than former President Jacob Zuma, in a covert move to challenge the authority of current President Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, before we get into the details, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on South Africa's shifting political terrain. And as always, share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Let's start by breaking down what we know. The allegations, secret meetings and power plays. Reports have emerged, citing unnamed insiders, claiming that Premier Lesufi has been engaged in a series of off-the-record meetings with former President Jacob Zuma. These alleged discussions are said to be focused on crafting a strategic alliance to weaken and eventually unseat Cyril Ramaphosa from his position as ANC leader and head of state. Sources say Lesufi is increasingly disillusioned with Ramaphosa's handling of key national issues, particularly his approach to corruption, sluggish economic reform, and what some see as a lack of decisive leadership. It's believed that Zuma, still wielding significant influence within his faction of the ANC, is offering guidance and support to Lesufi in what may be a long-term campaign to reshape the party's leadership dynamics. Denials and damage control. Unsurprisingly, the ANC has officially denied these claims. Party spokesperson Paul Mabe has publicly dismissed the allegations as fabrications and reiterated the ANC's support for President Ramaphosa. According to Mabe, the party remains focused on uniting the nation, addressing socio-economic challenges, and preparing for future elections, not indulging in internal conspiracies. However, despite these official denials, murmurs within the ANC suggest that the story may not be so far-fetched. Some senior ANC figures, speaking anonymously, have admitted concern about Lesufi's growing prominence and his potential ambitions beyond Gauteng. Who is Panyaza Lesufi? Panyaza Lesufi has become a household name in South African politics. Known for his fiery speeches and grassroots connection with ordinary citizens, Lesufi built his political capital as MEC for education in Gauteng, where he was praised for tackling infrastructure challenges and championing township schools. His rise to Premier of Gauteng marked a new chapter, not just for the province but for his political career. His base in Gauteng is loyal, diverse, and increasingly vocal. He has the charisma and public support to mount a serious challenge if he chooses to do so. But is Lesufi really aligning himself with Jacob Zuma, a man who left office under a cloud of scandal and who still faces numerous legal challenges? That's where things get even more complicated. Zuma's influence, still a political power player. Despite being ousted in 2018, Zuma has maintained a loyal support base, especially within rural KwaZulu-Natal and among those disillusioned with the ANC's current trajectory. Known for his populist rhetoric and deep ties to ANC veterans and structures, Zuma continues to command respect in certain circles. His alleged involvement in this supposed scheme raises alarm bells within the ANC. Why? Because a Zuma-backed Lesufi could trigger the kind of internal factional war that the party is desperately trying to avoid ahead of key elections. Political analyst John Matiso weighed in, saying that the pairing of Zuma's enduring influence and Lesufi's rising star power could create a formidable alliance, one that may not be easy for Ramaphosa to counter, especially if public sentiment continues to wane due to corruption scandals, slow economic growth, and persistent inequality. Why now? Timing is everything. These developments come at a critical moment for the ANC. With national elections on the horizon and mounting pressure to deliver tangible change to ordinary South Africans, the party cannot afford a public display of division. But the reality is that fractures within the ANC have long existed, between the reformist camp led by Ramaphosa and the so-called RET or Radical Economic Transformation faction still loyal to Zuma. The resurfacing of Zuma in strategic political conversations may not be a coincidence. He has been openly critical of Ramaphosa's leadership, and his supporters have made no secret of their desire to see the ANC pivot away from what they consider a neoliberal, elite-driven agenda. If Lesufi is indeed part of this pivot, it would signal a deeper ideological split within the party, one that could fracture its voter base even further. Potential consequences for South Africa. The implications of a power struggle at the highest levels of the ANC are profound. At a time when the country is facing load-shedding crises, sky-high unemployment, crime, and a fragile economy, the last thing South Africa needs is political infighting. Leadership uncertainty erodes public trust, destabilizes markets, and distracts from much-needed service delivery. Should Lesufi and Zuma push forward with this alleged agenda, we could see a resurgence of the factional battles that plagued the ANC during the late Zuma years, something that South Africa can ill afford. Moreover, if Ramaphosa's leadership is seriously challenged from within, it could open the door for coalition governments or even lead to a significant realignment in national politics. We've already seen the ANC lose its absolute majority in several municipalities. Could a national shift be next? What's next? So what happens now? At this stage, these are still allegations. No formal evidence has been presented, and both Lesufi and the ANC leadership have denied any wrongdoing. However, in South African politics, where smoke often leads to fire, this story is far from over. All eyes will be on Lesufi in the coming weeks, how he navigates public appearances, his statements, and whether he distances himself from Zuma or doubles down on his autonomy within the ANC. Likewise, Ramaphosa's camp will likely tighten internal surveillance, seeking to reinforce loyalty ahead of the ANC's next major conference. This is a developing story that could have serious consequences for the ANC, for South Africa, and for all of us as citizens of a democratic nation. That's it for today's deep dive. What do you think about these allegations? Is it possible that Lesufi and Zuma are plotting behind the scenes? Or is this just another distraction from the real issues facing South Africa? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis, and share it with anyone interested in South African politics. See you next time.